Hello everybody, welcome to a new modern video. I am playing Grixis Shadow once again. Played this deck a couple of days ago, but I want to just play this deck again. I think it's a very good deck right now in modern, and it really just fell off the radar after Lure's ban, but it's now back thanks to Ledger Shredder. This is my current list. Yeah, I think it's the same as the last video, still with 3 Fluster, 2 Spell Pierce, 2 Hers to really have a lot of stuff against Leaving End, as that matchup doesn't seem very good. We only have Drown as a counter spell, and yeah, Thoughtseize Inquisition isn't particularly good against the deck with a billion cyclers. Alright, let's go in the Modern League. Here we go. I am currently in a league. 2 matches. You're gonna see the matches at the end of the video, because I did a coaching session and I recorded that, so I will add that but first I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna now stream these 3 matches, and then at the end I'm gonna add the 2 videos that I played a mirror match, which I ended up losing unfortunately, and I played against 4-color elementals. So pretty cool matches over there. Alright, let's go. On the play. Jegantha Companion. Pretty irrelevant, if I had to say. Okay, I'm gonna keep this end. Starting off with Channeler Bauble to get that land. Like for push. Yeah, sure. Push is an excellent card. You can definitely cut some more Unholy Heat. I found out that so often I find myself taking out the Channeler because of Graveyard 8 against like a Nice and Hearse mostly. And in those matchups I find out Unholy Heat to be less impactful. Although game 1 Unholy Heat is very strong. I'm only looking for a land here, so I won't draw a bubble. Playing against Subtlety, this could mean Rhinos or Leaving End. There is now the free access. You pay $25 and you get all the cards. So that's why you see all these Foil Onslaught, Polluted Delta, which is pretty inaccessible otherwise. Alright, drew Blood Crypt. Not the best land, considering that I would have preferred to have a blue land to cast Iteration next turn. I think I'm gonna discard Counter Spell and then Thoughtseize. As a result, my opponent, sure, they'll cast Consider, but they won't touch my iterations. They put the land in the graveyard. This must have mean they drew a land. Yeah, Polluted Delta. Draw. Nice. Happy with a blue land here. I think I'm gonna risk and just go ahead and play Iteration. If you think about it, I have Thoughtseize, Ragavan, Bauble, Bolt, Channeler, Death Shadow. There's so many live draw that makes my Iteration not dead here that I think it's fine. And bottom exile. Don't only cast Iteration if you have to make a land drop. Sometimes with that, I mean, Iteration gets better the cheaper your mana curve is. So, so that you can cast it even without making a land drop. Even when you already made a land drop. Again, it's not very common because, of course, we had to draw 2 Blood Crypt and then draw blue land. But yeah, it's important that you kind of change your original ideas sometimes in Magic. And not only does this when you have to make a land drop. Okay, so they have Otawara and a mystery card. Of course, I'm going to cast Iteration. Going to cast Thoughtseize first. Nah. Actually, I might. Yeah. I feel like that could have a counter spell. Land. Okay. Nice. I'm gonna go and bottom exile, play land, and pass. I'm already on 6, so we definitely have to think about life total. I can't keep on Thoughtseizing it. I mean, I already played 3 Thoughtseize and so forth. I do, of course, have Delirium, so the Unholy Heat will kill the Subtlety if they go Takenuma, get it back. They drew landed pass. I'm gonna go Kroxa now. Draw 2, of course. I'll go Kroxa and pass. Opponent will probably go Takenuma, discard the Otawara, but anyway, they haven't really done anything, funnily enough, because we discarded the 3 cards that they casted. They did wanted to cast. That's kind of the Grixis Shadow game plan of don't let the opponent do anything meaningful. Next turn is going to... Alright, they go Takenuma, they milled Slitherwisp. Okay. See what they get among these. Slitherwisp or Subtlety. They go back Subtlety. Draw. Okay. I certainly don't escape Kroxa right now, since they just Subtlety it. I'm instead going for a Ledger Shredder, which they will still Subtlety. And then I guess I will kill the Subtlety. I might pronounce that card wrong. Hello, Mega Man. How am I today? I don't feel particularly good. I have a how do you say, sore throat and cough and stuff like that. But happy to be playing Magic. So I had a nice weekend. Okay, so what I'm gonna let my opponent go for the Subtlety, of course. So this will resolve. They target my Shredder. Now I want to fetch first, get a Steamvents tapped, then I'll play Fatal Push on the Subtlety, and then I'll let the Shredder go on top of it. Next turn, I think I'm gonna go for Kroxa. Mm-hmm. And be careful what to exile. And pass. They have 1 card in it. And the strength of Kroxa, of course, is that even if your opponent counters it, you just cast it again next. Or they push it, you just cast it again next turn, and they take 3 damage. Kroxa is mostly a bad card to cast on the front side, but it's obviously an excellent card to cast from the... Especially in this deck that doesn't have any graveyard synergies. Like we don't have Murktide region. We only need to care about Delirium, and after that. So putting Drew counterspell, meaning that once again they denied my Kroxa. I'm gonna go Shredder. I think I go Boldface. To loot. Could have discarded Unholy Heat. Maybe that would have been fine. A little bit afraid of, I don't know, maybe to go like Slither Wisp. And I want to have a removal spell for it. Okay. They go to 4. Alright, they conceded again. Oh. Alright, so I'm playing against blue-black control. I'm gonna probably have Unlicensed Hearts just because this card is it's just so good. It's a Tarmogoyf paired up with a Graveyard Hate card. I think I'm gonna cut some Graveyard card. I don't know about push. Maybe I can take out one. I do want to have answers for Slither Wisp though, so I'm gonna actually keep all the Unholy Heat. Maybe I don't mind these counters. It's only have one hearse. I thought I had more dead card. Half of the community thinks hers is trash. Really? Who? Did I miss any discussion about it? Okay, Jegantha. Reveal. Kolaghan. Okay, I'll keep. I'm bottoming a Death Shadow. Death Shadow is normally not a great card to have in your hand. Especially against an opponent who doesn't attack you. I'm gonna go Bauble myself and then decide whether to start with Bloodstained Mire or Steam. Mire it is. You ain't snitching though. It's okay. Don't worry. I was just curious maybe. I missed. I mean, I think Unlicensed Earths is the reason why Dragon's Rage Channeler isn't played anymore in Blue Red Murktide, or rather, this weekend the Blue Red Murktide won first place in Sunday Challenge and second place on Saturday Challenge in a version without Dragon's Rage Channeler. I think I want to bubble you now. Consider. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. I'm gonna pass. I really dislike to cast Kroxa like this. Did I enter any challenge yesterday? I don't usually play challenge in the weekend. Although this weekend I did play one. Because well, in my town, there's only a group of players that play Pauper. That's it. And a friend of mine hosted everyone in his house and we played 2 challenges. with a bunch of people. But we finished the 3-3 and 2-4, so not exciting results. But no, normally I prefer doing other things. Like walking around when it's cold and just getting cough and, and things like that. Alright, anyway, I think I don't have anything to do. I'm just gonna go Watery Grave untapped and pass. Buongiorno Sbranza. Good morning, Gagnar Games. What's the favorite graveyard 8? Yeah, it's Unlicensed Earth right now. You can play Blood Crypt too. I think it's better than Soga Lantern. Or Relic. In Blue Red Murktide. I think if you look at the list that won on Sunday that I retweeted, put it on the screen right now. Boom Switch. I think he has Blood Crypt. To her Blood Crypt. Aloha. They have a Silter Wisp. And I go cool against them. Where's the blue-white control now? Blue-black control now. I'll go Force of Negation, but I doubt they have it. Force of Negation, funnily enough, doesn't really see much play modern. Outside of the Cascade strategies, doesn't really see much more play than Legacy. You went 4-2. Ooh. Thank you, Brans. I appreciate the support. Welcome, welcome. The Prime, thank you. You went 4-2, we'll finish 10th with Vivian combo. I was thinking about playing Vivian combo today. Spell Stutter Spray. Wow. Spell Stutter Spray. They have Flusterstorm? Please don't have Flusterstorm. I can counter both of my cards if they have Flusterstorm. Okay, looks like they do. Okay, Cling to Dust. Ah, this is an this is a clean answer to my Kroxa, huh? I think I'm gonna go. Okay, they Cling to Dust the Bloodstained Mire to draw a card. Sure. They played an Explorer. Not really. I don't play Arena very much. Man, drawing Expressive Iteration is such a delight. Such a delight. Thank you to Muppet Master. 3rd month. Okay. Oh. How many lands do you have over there? 3? Nice. Let's go. Let's go. And bottom exile and play the Unlicensed Hearse, which will exile the Cling to Dust, and then again, as I mentioned, just a very large threat that I'm happy to have it in play. I could have also gone for double 1-drop. That maybe was better, but I'm just happy to take the Cling, and maybe they play Murktide Regent, so I start cleaning their spells. Very possible that they play Murktide Regent. Yeah, I think the Vivian combo deck is very good. People don't play it, that's fine. I mean, again, in modern, it's just about fashions and not really about people playing the good decks. Not that I'm claiming the deck is good and they are wrong, just saying. What people play doesn't necessarily mean what's right or wrong. Alright, anyway, let's take the spells so that Murktide is just a tiny 3/3 right now. If they have it, I don't even know if they have it. Slither Wisp. Okay, so there's a little bit tension between Drown and hers, of course. But ideally, constructed cards don't cost more than 2 or 3, so the Drown will still be active. Okay, but that Fatal Pushing End. What do I do? I think I want to go Shredder, Drown on Slither Wisp. Actually, maybe I'm gonna go Shredder. Let me go Shredder first. Shredder and then Channeler. Loot. And then Drown on Slither Wisp. Loot, discard Kroxa. And as you see, Kroxa is a card that it's really, really bad, awful to cast from hand. So you have to always play Kroxa in a deck that loots. So the End of the Veil Season Pyromancer, Ledger Shredder. Or in a deck that like this, and try to cast it from hand as little as possible. How do you like to stack Connive and Surveil? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I think it most likely depends. And now I loot the Kroxa away, so that I will be able to escape it after. Right now they have no spell in the graveyard, so I'm not really going to tap the hers right. I guess if they put the push, I will then. Buongiorno Gennara. Okay, they are going to push my Shredder, I'm sure. No? Wow. Maybe they've Murktide and they want to grow their Murktide of 1. Yeah, it's possibly what's happening here. I think that's what's happening here. So if that's what's happening and exile 2 cards now, at least they have to pay 1 more mana. But that's not true. But then my hers will have 2 less cards. No, okay, I'll exile now. Oh, they didn't want me to Connive because they played 2 spell. That's true, that's true. Thank you, chat. Pointing that out. Okay. Well, I could go Thoughtseize first, go to 3 life, and then Kroxa from the graveyard. Alright, they have 3 cards in it, which isn't little. They've been drawing extra cards with Slither Wisp. Okay, I got a 3. Snapcaster. Okay. I'll take Snapcaster. Then I'll go Kroxa. They play Consider. Sure. I have a licensed Hearse in play, yeah? I can't Snapcaster. Sorry, rather, they can't Snapcaster push. Okay, they put the card in the graveyard. It was a surgical. Haha, you might have wanted to do that first, eh? No, Spell Stutter Sprite. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. Oh no, Spell Stutter Sprite. And now I lose. Because I got it 1. Yeah, it's okay. Good game. If it was just a counter spell, it wouldn't have died. Next turn I go Kroxa Bolt, but it wasn't, so I died. Too many Shocklands, probably. Okay. From, you know, I don't have outs. I do not have any out. Alright, GG. As much as push kills the spell starter with ability on the stack, it's not particularly good, I think, against their deck. So maybe I wanted on their unlicensed first over a Kolaghan's command. Kolaghan's command can be a little bit clean. Yeah. If I didn't go Thoughtseize but just go Kroxa first, Force Bolt could have killed the spell starter, so they weren't able to counter my Kroxa. I was mostly playing around counterspell. And the slot here might feel wasted most of the time, although sometimes you just return it and then loot it away with Shredder. I think it's fine. I think it's worth it. It's mostly worth it because it's literally free and you don't want to play Season Pyromancer, Liliana, or Chalice of the Void, you know? You could have taken Consider. Okay, yeah. But to consider, that wouldn't have happened. Mostly, I don't take Cantrip. It's not really what I like to do with Discard spells. With Discard spell, I like to take the cards that might be annoying or that my opponent. I mean, I was at 3 life. The Snapcaster Mage was an important body. Like end of turn, I flash in 1, and then I untap. And they have Snapcaster and Spellstarter. I'm at 2 life, so I can't attack with Kroxa. You know. I think overall it was fine. I think the only mistake that I regret doing is early game I shocked myself too much. Because again, we're playing only 3 Death Shadow, so I don't think you should shock as much if you don't need to. I think that's what I'm gonna do with this deck. I mean, what I mostly do with this deck is I don't shock too much. I was playing against blue-black control, so I didn't expect that to be relevant, but it was relevant, as you saw. Since I died of damage, I didn't die of, hard advantage or things. Let's go. Turn 1, Ragavan. I can cast Iteration with these 2 lands that I have, but... Okay, Bloodshed Thirst. Sure. I think I'm gonna go Shredder. They have counters and discard spell. Sure, they have more removal spell, but I think I'm gonna go Shredder. Even if I can't, I trigger it immediately. Is this deck good again? Yeah. Good morning, Matt. Went in with the stopping draw step. They probably have Surgical, and I were wondering if they should exile my Ragavan, but came to the conclusion that I don't have Ragavan in hand, so they decided to move. The same on a t-shirt. I feel like I've been wearing this t-shirt a lot, but I have washed it over the week. Okay, it looks like they have another removal spell. That's fine. Of course, you wish to always loot off your Shredder. I couldn't now. Inquisition of Kozilek. Sure. Gonna go first. And pass. Draw. Channeler. Okay. I can go Channeler, Inquisition. Oh wow. Man, spell starter sprite. I forgot about that. Yeah. I got. I went Inquisition first. They go spell starter. I go Unholy Heat. Alright, that was a punt. Mistake. Mistake. As much as I said I don't care about cantrips, I think the rest of my opponent hand is really bad right now. So yeah, I'm just happy to discard a cantrip at this time. Hello, Bayukas. Yes, I've seen the No Darcy list. Okay, so they drew a land. I have to hold up the Unholy Heat on the Slither Wisp. I love to see Surgical in my opponent's hand. Such a nice view. Opponent can go Snapcaster, Surgical, blah blah blah. Gonna be fine. On the house. Okay, draw land. That means the next turn I can cast Iteration. Actually, they're gonna go. No, this is an instant. It doesn't have flash. Slither Wisp only draws card if you play like Spell Stutter or Snap. Unfortunately, I keep on passing the turn. I can't do anything. I definitely don't care about Jegantha. Wow, this is a Surgical. On Ledger, Shredder. Sure. I could have exiled it with the Hearse, but I don't mind. If I exile it with the Hearse, it fizzles. I really don't care. I want to just keep their graveyard in check. I go land, go. I cast Slither Wisp, I can kill it, and then exile Surgical and Slither. They don't, then we move on. Yeah, pure card disadvantage for Surgical, which is the reason why, I mean, it's a bad card mostly, and it really shouldn't come in these matches. Okay. Looks like this is a Slither Wisp. Oh, it says Snapcaster. Sure. I mean, they know I have Dash Shadow, it might not attack me. Some kind of ruins. Wish they attacked me. Nice. I'll go to 13, then I fetch down to 10. I'm gonna get a Blood Crypt. So I start with a iteration here. Okay. We'll go end for sure. I want to take an extra damage, not think 2 damage is fine. Then I play Shadow as a 5/5 and I'll pass. I have Unholy Heat up, they know about it. Now I'm in just a great shape. These are Surgical Ledger Shred. Okay. Yeah, if I took a fetch line, could be a Watery Grave. But then I want it to be. Alright, consider gave them a push. That's. Actually, I'm gonna crew the hers first. Hello, Amatron. So the push kills the thing. I might just go ahead and kill the spell stutter sprite. Thanks. Just killing stuff. Then the her skips on eating. It's a 7/7 right now. Drop. Go ahead and play an iteration. Hello to Royce TV. Hello. How's it going? Am I planning on playing Pioneer? A little bit less. I mean, I do play Pioneer here and there. You can see a Pioneer video on my channel already. But I focus on Modern. But I do play Pioneer, yeah. Okay, Ragavan. Played Rakdos last Saturday. Sorry, last weekend. It's on my YouTube channel. Thank you for the sub for the second month. Okay, do I want to drown the Snapcast? Well, forgot about it? Forgot about what? No, that's so good. Don't worry. You enjoy when I do Legacy. I mean, I try to do. Honestly, I try to do what I what I just wake up and want to do. That keeps my content fresh. This is a 9. I'm just dashing Ragavan. I don't care about. I mean, I could obviously just cast Ragavan and crew to hers. Actually, I might just do that. Yeah, you know what? How big is it? Quattro? Quattro? Yeah, so it's a 2-turn clock. Ma, you know what? I changed my mind about it. Let's just kill them in 2. The 9/9. Attack, then they cast a Slither Wisp. I go drown. I dash this so that they can't Blood Shift Thirst or things like that. Yeah, I can't drown. It's fine. Put it 2 life. See what I drop. Oh, another slit. Oh, good draw. Okay. Put a 4. Sorry, I put a 1. Well, I'm dead if they have a counter spell there. I don't think I can beat this. Okay. Now, what to do? Because I can force the chum block and then play Ragavan, but if they draw any removal spell, I die. Or I can pass, and this way I don't die to removal spell. Nah, I think I try to force the chum block. So that next turn they have to chum block again. If they draw land next turn, I make them lose all the Slither Wisp. Alright, let's hope they draw land, I guess. If they draw a flesh spell, I die. If they draw a removal spell, I die. Didn't play well, I think. I definitely shouldn't have exiled the last 2 cards with hers. I forgot about the interaction. I think it once again took way too much damage from my Shockland. Although, I don't think I actually did. Once I could have taken a single land, but I had a Shadow in hand, and they didn't have pushed, they just drew it. So I think okay. Yep, I lose. Alright, GG. Not great, not great. Wish I didn't lose this game. Yeah, close game indeed. Yeah. I think what basically this is well, I was overconfident about winning the whole match, and I didn't really focus on it, which is a typical problem for Magic players. We're currently 1-2. The MTGO bot says 0-1 because I started the league yesterday. But again, on the YouTube channel, there will be the full 5-match league. Perfect. Love to survey Kroxa in the graveyard. As I said, that's the best way for Kroxa. Oh, Thought Monitor. Unity isn't a great matchup. definitely Urza Saga decks are definitely the scariest. Not Hammer Time. That one is a good match. But the I thought Monitor is good. Very good. Alright. Wanna go push or Unholy Heat? I go push. Unholy Heat can kill that. There. Go push and go to the lead. Ooh, Thoughtseize. I think I like Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize makes me discard the Thought. Let's hope that never is a Saga now is the lane drop. What does virgin mean in olive oil? That's actually a good question. So, the extra virgin means that's the first time that they pressed from olives and got oil. When it doesn't say extra virgin, it means that so that you have olives, you press them, you make oil, and then whatever remains, then you press that again and get more oil. But that isn't a virgin. Naturally, it's going to be more expensive and prestigious the first time you press it. Okay. Now what? Do I want to go iteration here? I think so, yeah. I can get a land with that. Okay. And go ahead and go and bottom exile. I'm gonna go first. I already have too much ways to damage myself. Perfect. The only lands. Kroxa right here. Spell bomb, sure. Cast a shadow 2/2, or I could cast Kroxa. For Kroxa, they just simply spell bomb it. I think I'm fine in casting a 2/2 shadow. And then I'll get back Jegantha. I don't need to stay up with the counter. Oh. I don't like that. Hard to think. I'll go upkeep push just to surveil. Joe, no, please. You play any of the challenges? Usually not. I played Pauper challenge. That's a 7/7. Too big for my drown. Not for my no. Funny how in the previous matchups where I shouldn't have shocked that much, probably I did, and now that I should have that shocked. Okay. Interesting. So dispute Kolaghan. Kroxa's bad, so is Iteration. Probably some Thoughtseize. I think Drown is worse than Thoughtseize. Drown is worse. I don't think that Grixis is favored against blue-red. I think it's very close. I'm not a big fan of saying a matchup is favorite when it's very close. I think that for color is favorite against Murktide. That's for sure. And Leaving End is favorite against for color. That's for sure. But I don't love to say that, I don't know, two matchups that are most likely close. Because then you like put you up ideas that you should always win or stuff like that. Or you can get the matchup worse because it's a favorable matchup, which isn't. I keep this hand. I have a Chandler plus Delta. Of course, if we don't draw a land, we lose. GG Boopy. Okay, I drew the land. Very nice. I think I put that in the graveyard. I have two more lands to draw, two more cards to draw. Let's hope there never is a saga. That's always the hope. Okay, nice. Ooh, they can already cast a companion. Good. Very good. 2-mana companion. Ooh, wow, 1-mana companion. They have one card in end. Why not hold the bubble for the bird? It's a good question, although I don't think in this matchup I could afford to go bird on turn 2. I was mostly needed to at least go Thoughtseize. I mean, obviously they play their whole hand on turn 2, but I think Thoughtseize is fine to cast on turn 2 technically. Have I drafted new Commander Legends? Not yet, but I actually planned to. Okay, so I need to get Delirium, and I will do it. So let's go in second main phase for now. Let's go in second main phase for now. And then I want to go Watery Grave, Thoughtseize. If they have a land, it's going to be bad, but if they have a spell, it's going to be very bad. So let's just Thoughtseize to see if they have a spell. Wow, they have Thoughtseize. Sure. Oh no, this is the Surveil. Okay. I was like, wow, that's weird. What should have been a land, probably. There's the Saga. That's a bad land. Okay. And I pass here. I'm going to get Delirium in combat phase. Interesting that they didn't play. Oh, because if they played Saga, they couldn't have gone off. Welding jar. Okay. Yep, that happens. I want to draw the Death Shadow. Death Shadow is great blocker. Block. And I play Unholy Heat on the other frog. Remember, if they regenerate it, it removes from combat. This one becomes... I didn't risk it, of course. Ooh, that's nice. I'm gonna leave this on top, because this one kills the company. Alright, next turn. Unfortunately, the Scalding Tarn can't get me the swamp. So I have to shock myself. Oh wow, they don't use the welding jar. So here, it can't really go for Shredder plus Unholy Heat. Because if I do that, then they just regenerate the companion then. That's off the table. What's on the table? It's gonna be an iteration. No, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go Shredder and land go. And I'll play companion on the on the sorry, I'm gonna just kill it now, the companion. They're regenerated, that's fine. We use rest down to counter the regeneration, sure, but I have to use rest down to kill the resistance. I'm gonna go to 6, and then I Unholy Heat the companion before they draw anything nasty. That's a bad draw. Happy to put it out in the graveyard. Rest down doesn't stop regeneration. What if after they target the welding jar, I dress down? Doesn't that remove regeneration, you think? The regeneration shield. Okay, to make a construct. And then what? Oh, is that a... Don't draw Thought Monitor, please. Okay. That's big. Bricky, thank you for the sub. Thank you. Alright, let's go for an Expressive Iteration here. And then I'm gonna go Swamp. Dress down my opponent turn. Okay. Am I dead? Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Any changes? Grand Luck is really bad. I'm gonna cut them all. I'm gonna bring back Iteration. Then what? Bomdia, Debbie. Don't worry, you can say Bomdia. I will understand. Yes. Deep. Alright, let's go. Land Ragavan. I go Steam Vents, Ragavan. I can go Swamp Shredder if I want to. I don't want to, probably, because I have Iteration. But I think I like to go. Why is Dress Down useful in this matchup? Dress Down kills the constructs from Urza's side. Because they become 1-0-0. Okay, Urza's Saga. I have the one of Alpine Moon to draw. I would kill the Saga. Branglet Drum is like Mox Opal. Make so that I can make construct on turn 2. They trade, I'll let it go. Okay. I'll go bird and pass. My opponent is most likely going to go 0 drop, land, make a construct of Saga. So now I have to look for Kolaghan's commands or dress down. So what I have to go again. Oh wow, they don't have another land. Yeah, now I feel good. And I feel good. Alright, let's begin. Iteration. Nice. That's nice. And autumn. Exile. I will Stone Rain decide. I wonder if I should cast a bubble. I think I will. So Moon, name Urza's Saga. Stone Rain. That's a land. Happy man. They got tap land, I drew Ragavan. Hello Alberto, buongiorno. More iterations, sure. For it. And bottom exile. I'm gonna go. Just now I want to attack. Now it's all I want to do. I just want to get my opponent dead. Soon as possible. Which will actually happen very soon. As this is a Type 5, 11 damage. I have both, that's 14. Ragavan 16. I only need a shock line and that'll be. Opponent kept a risky hand on one land with a Memnite, but you saw here the power of Ragavan. Trading with a Memnite, we didn't have removal spell for the Memnite, so the Memnite might have just, if they draw land, they made construct. Instead, they were forced to block the Ragavan. Keep. They are on 6 cards. Sure. Mirror match. Very popular deck. Definitely the fashion of the weeks. I don't mind going Shredder. Winning right now can't drown in the locket. Or Unholy Heat. They can play Terminate. That's mostly a card that gets played, but I don't like it. Thoughtseize will be annoying on my K command. It was the last relevant card that I had. Considering that they have 4 cards, I mean, I could Thoughtseize them and take the iteration. But I kind of want to get back Jegantha and then double spell loot the Jegantha. Now again, they can go iteration, land push, and that would be awful. I feel like when mulligan to 6 on the play. Oh wow, they dash Ragavan. That's super risky. Ah, come on, they got Bolt off my deck. Ma porca merda, ma porca. Ma porca. Yeah, right. What a card. Well, obviously it depends what they have in hand, but okay, no. What? No way. No way. No way. He didn't cast Bolt. Right, because they. Oh, I forgot about that. Nice. The conifers. That's true. Oh, okay. It took me a while, but I understood it. Good morning, Ayonski. Thank you. Thank you for the 4th month. Thank you. Okay, now I'm good. Now I'm very good. I'm actually very good right now because we go push, channeler, loot the land away. Nice. Now we're in a great shape. Thoughtseize. There's a shredder on top. I think it's better than nothing. I take Ragavan. And attack. Maybe I could have taken the shredder, but then, yeah, maybe I should have just took the shredder, no attack. So good, all good here. Yeah, you saw the Jegantha drew as a card in this game. That terminate. Run the Loch. Okay. Have no cards in hand. That's attack. Then I go iteration, that's shadow. Why not channeler first? Because then they loot better. I think this is good. I'm gonna leave this on top. I'm gonna go hand bottom exile. I want to go they mill a card. Then I go shadow. Actually, let me see their top card first. Swamp. Nice. Hello, Raptor7. Thank you very much for the Prime sub. Welcome. Or cutting Inquisition because the card is weak against Murktide. It's not weak. Or for color. Sure. You can play it. No one's saying the slots in this deck are definitely not set in stone. Alright. I won this game. What was the thing that changed? Honestly, them me flipping lightning bolt instead of terminate would make the game. That means I put a worse card in my deck though, so I'm not sure. Modern looks like Legacy these days. No, it's much better. The decks don't cost a billion euro for starters. Point, and there's definitely more deck diversity. Okay, let's go. I am going to take out the channelers for sure. Bringing in the unlicensed hearse. You can just do this. 2 channeler for 2. Yeah, I think this is no snap booster. Is it worth it to cut Shadow over Shredder? It's fine. You think that cutting Force Shadow is worth it? Yeah, I think 3 Shadow. I like 3 Shadow. You focus a little bit less on shocking yourself too much. Actually, the only game where I focused myself on shocking too much, I lost. So I think that I like the Shredder approach. I only one dispute in the board. Can play more. Don't only think about dispute as only one dispute. Dispute is the, I don't know, 6th counter in the 5th counter against Murktide. If you also bring in Flusterstorm, 8th counter. Don't think about card as first. They go together with similar cards. What does the bubble do? You can go exclamation mark a card and name the card that you are interested in reading. The MTG bot is a very nice tool for new players. Unfortunately, we don't have like you have on Arena that you just go over a card and read it. You can still. Okay, let's go. Could have been the RC. Let's go. Turn 1, Ragavan. Yep. Monkey, monkey, monkey. Okay. I'm a little bit afraid of going unlicensed hers because they might have a counter. I think it's okay. Okay, let's see if they have drowned. Looks like they've drowned. That's fine. I'm on the draw and they don't really have good instants, so I think that jamming sorcery speed is alright. Next turn, I still can't cast a shadow because it's, well, not castable. They cast. What do I want to do here? I think I'd just like to try and kill the shadow. The Unholy Heat will be 6. Okay. So I'm gonna go dash Ragavan instead. I think it's fine. I don't really have much else to do. So. Do I feel Murktide is better without DRC? I don't have information to say anything, but I do think that I do think that you can definitely cut the DRC on Murktide, if you like. Yeah. I posted my deck guide for CFP where I cut Darcy plus side 4 of in the mirror match, and I cut Darcy on the draw against Red and 6. So I think Darcy is still like good card most of the time in the main deck, but it definitely gets way worse since the number of licensors are super popular, and it's most of the time just a 1-1 in the mirror match. And that's why I ended up cutting them all in the mirror match. And of course it's X1 against a deck with random 6 isn't ideal. Okay, unfortunately they have a Thoughtseize, so they take my iterations away. I could have cast the iteration last turn, but then I wouldn't be able to. Ooh, Kroxa. Let's go for it. Not particularly good, but next turn I'm gonna be able to draw a land and cast it. I set myself for Flashback Kroxa. Plus I don't really have much else to do. I discarded the Thoughtseize. Okay. This is why I like only 3 shadows. Oh, great sometimes. Oh, is this iteration? It is. And in the mirror match, it's mostly whoever draws more iteration wins, or rather, whoever resolves more iterations win. Opponent is on 2 versus 0. I'm gonna assume I lose this game. Okay, they have another Thoughtseize. That's fine. I think the best card is right now in my graveyard. The best card of this game. So I have 2 lands. 2 cards in hand, I mean. Let's try to remain delirious here. I don't know if I'll be able to. Yeah, I will. I can leave land, Earth, Bolt, and Iteration. Perfect. Nice. 2 cards. They'll discard 1, and I'm assuming they have a removal spell for Kroxa, so they'll be on Elbend, and I can just flashback Kroxa again if I draw another fetch land next. Yeah, I don't like to bring these in this match. They're bad. Of course, sometimes you can counter an iteration, but the game goes way more in a top deck mode than the mirror match of EZ, for example. Again, after this game on the YouTube video, you will have my first 2 matches where I play the mirror match again and against Hammer, I think. So that will there will be it's just a very good match against the mirror match. Lots of close choice and sideboard decisions that are very relevant. Okay, it looks like they also drew a Kroxa, because if they didn't end, they would have discarded. One is gonna kill my Kroxa and I just bring it back immediately, putting them to 3. Yeah, I think I win this game. Well done, Kroxa. Sometimes I talk bad about you, but in these discard spell matchups, it's definitely super relevant. They can't flashback Kroxa. They had to draw a removal spell. Push. Unholy Heat. Terminate. I guess I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong. Because I will have to discard his Inquisition. So my opponent will have a spell in hand. They don't die to Kroxa. So I in my mind I was like, I'm gonna Inquisition their card, but that's not true. So when I can still technically win. Drop. Classic iteration of the top. Alright. Finished 3-2. Again, both of the losses, I think I punted and I could have won them both. Happy with it. I think the deck is super good. One of the best deck in Modern right now. Okay, that's... Okay, yeah, this it probably will be a mirror match. Just both Jegantha, Bloodstained Mire. Alright, sure. I would have wished to see a creature like Channeler Ragavan because you have so much removal. Of course, they took Shadow. Okay. So we only played 3 Shadow in this deck, and there's no lures, so there's only 2 Shadow back. I do have a Kolaghan's command, but like, I definitely do think about how much damage do I take from my cards. You know, it's not always gonna be land shock, blah blah blah. But here I definitely do this. Okay, they kept a 1-lander.
Oh, what a stalemate.
It's a very weird end. Like, I don't mind of most of these things. I think I'm taking Thoughtseize just because it's like the only proactive card I have. I could have considered going Bloodstained Mire for Blood Crypt just because I have so many removal spells, then making back and go top land. If I draw a creature, exactly. Instead now I'm forced to take 3 damage to kill the Channeler. Which I will. I definitely need to keep the Delirium up. I'm gonna use the Unholy Heat just because, well, I think it's better. So I know that these 3 cards plus a mystery card, and that could be like, I don't know, a good card. So I 100% know they have a spell in hand. Okay, it's a Terminate. I'm tempted to just take Kroxa here. Just because, again, it's the only card that does actually something.
And they're quite away from casting it.
Okay. I can go Bauble myself. I see Expressive Iteration. Perfect. If there was a land, I would have fetched and pick up Jegantha. But as it is, of course, I want to just get the iteration. Because right now the game is all about 2-for-1.
Right. Oh, no land.
Because I can't punish them despite they're struggling. Here I'm taking a top land. Okay? Even if I draw a Shadow, they have billion removal spells. So I think now I'm going to preserve my life total. And I just take top land. Okay. I'll top like this. This could find me a Discord spell or a Ragavan. Yeah. I think I'm going to go, because I have to play a spell this turn, so that will be the Inquisition. So once again, this was important. What land do I leave up? Certainly not blue, because I can't cast anything that costs 1 blue. So I leave up a red or a black exactly for this spot. Okay? Ooh. All these little things matter, because let's say I tap differently, I would have bricked on the iteration. I wouldn't have been able to double spell. Or rather, take a spell and a card in hand.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah, well, of course this is top deck war, but like, now I know they have Kroxa, they're probably gonna get back Jegantha, which doesn't really matter. Like, they know I have Unholy Heat and Bolt in hand. I'm actually happy they shocked. There's just so many removal spells that the Shadow won't be as relevant, whereas Bolt can definitely be relevant, Bolt phase. The key, of course, is as many iteration you draw. Okay, so the Shadow is a 3/3. I think I'm just taking Channeler here. Okay, just because it surveils, so I can get rid of a land.
Mm-hmm.
And if they go Kroxa, it's fine, I just discard a card. Okay, Ledger Shredder.
You kept Ledger Shredder on top?
Yeah, I mean, it's a spell. This is a spot where I don't want to... Okay, they have a Shadow on top, sure. Like, this is a spot where I don't want my opponent to... I don't want to flood out. I always want to draw gas. Iterations. I mean, I resolve 2 iteration, and my hand is super reactive, so I'm going to eventually win this game.
Right.
Okay, so they killed my Unholy Heat. I draw a Shredder and a card. Let's see what it is. It's a Thoughtseize. But I am going to once again go iteration. Like, I could go Shredder Thoughtseize, but I just push it, right?
Gotcha.
I know their hand here. It's Jegantha Terminate. It's like that, so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I am probably going to simply draw push and play Bloodstained Mire. And they can't cast a card from this end. And if they draw land to escape Kroxa, we just, counter it with Drown so that we avoid the 2-for-1.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of is a 2-for-1 because we discarded the Kroxa and now it's coming back. Okay, they drew iteration, but I counter it.
Yeah.
I have to shock myself here, unfortunately, but that's okay. I'll take Steam Vents. This deck is mostly red. If they didn't do anything this turn, I would have just shocked the top land. Again, despite having Shadow in my deck, I think I'm fine. I don't need to go below that. That I terminate and push. Okay, perfect. Now, draw. Okay. Now I definitely go Shredder. Kill the Shadow somehow. Actually, I can go... And also Ragavan. So I play like... This 3 cards here, I think. Maybe I keep Heat, because Heat can kill Jegantha. So, I mean, I'm gonna probably Heat the Kroxa next turn. But, yeah, I think it's good. They will go Terminate and Push on my 2 threats. So maybe I'm actually saving the Ragavan for dashing it. Okay, we have also another line, which is, I'm considering everything. Push the Shadow, dash Ragavan, and then Thoughtseize a removal spell, so that my Shredder will leave next turn.
Oh, because we have both their spells. Take care of your Shredder.
Yeah. Opponent, if they draw land, they're gonna Kroxa and discard a card from my hand. So we have to think about all the things. I think overall, it's just so many plays are fine right now that that I think it's going to be okay. So I'll decide on push the Shadow, dash Ragavan, see what I hit. Because I might hit a spell here, and then I'll Thoughtseize. Should have probably left up Blood Crypt because there's a lot of red cards. But... okay, I hit a Delta, sure. And now I might not even Thoughtseize. No, it's fine. Because I want to discard Thoughtseize to Kroxa, maybe. Yeah, you know what? I changed my mind. I should have definitely left up Blood Crypt, because if they escape Kroxa, I can't eat it end of turn. But I also have Shredder, so I can just double spell.
No, you can still heat it, right? You got the treasure.
Yeah, I know, but you kind of want to keep the treasure. I mean, this was just misstopping. I just changed my plan a couple of times through the turn. Okay, so now I still don't want to... well, I could go Shredder. Go Shredder, Thoughtseize, and opponent's gonna kill one. Yeah, I think that's best. So I'm gonna go Shredder, Thoughtseize. Opponent's going to response, kill Shredder. Then I discard the other removal spell, and then I can dash Ragavan and play Channeler. Okay? So I loot here. Ideally, I don't need to discard anything. So if I draw land, I just discard a land. Because opponent's gonna kill my Shredder anyway. But it's still good to loot, because even if my hand is fine, I just get more information. Oh, another bolt.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, so this could just
win here, right?
No, because they are an 8, but I can dash Ragavan and win the next turn. So here I think I am discarding the Unholy Heat. I don't have a removal spell for Kroxa anymore, but that's fine. Join a Loch and terminate. It's fine, I'll just discard this. And then I can go double creature now. Yeah. Actually, this way, if they drew a... That's probably better if I pass. Because this way, if they draw land, they escape Kroxa. Either they die to my bolt if they draw shock land, or even if they draw normal land. Because I don't want to make them use the mana, you see? Like, they just have this terminate up. Their card costs 4. Okay, so they pass here. It's definitely a game where we're favored. I am just... yeah. So here I'm going to go Channeler. Channeler. There's like a lot of ways to win this game. I am just trying to find the safest one. I don't want to play Ragavan because if they... I'm going to discard Ragavan to Kroxa. Now they terminate one of these, and even if they play Kroxa, they're like super dead. So they have to go like removal, but they still die next turn to what I have here. You see how Jegantha was very little relevant. I mean, sure, I could have returned it, but I just resolved the... Okay, so the Druid drowned in the Loch. That's obviously the information. They decided to play that over terminate.
It's weird.
Yeah.
What are they scared of?
I don't know, mostly like they're going to kill my channeler anyway. Okay, this was a good draw. This was a good draw for sure. Now, I could bolt this channeler so that I can dash Ragavan. Also Surveil. Because they have Terminate up. They are going to kill one of these two cards. Surveilling is, you know, worth off a card here. Because if there's a land on top, that's just a dead draw. I can even consider... bolting them now. No, I think I'm going to wait. It's fine. Keep the bolt in end. Yeah, this bolt here was worth a card. Because this was a dead draw. Dash Ragavan. Attack. Unholy Heat. Then I play Shadow. I could return Jegantha, but I don't want to. They have a card in it's Jegantha. They're gonna escape Kroxa, and I bolt them to death. Unless they get Basic Mountain. Which some lists play Basic Mountain. I chose not to. It's just way too bad with your, you know, drawing the Loch and... you play so many cheap cards, then a Basic Mountain often just doesn't really let you play.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna discard a card now to this Kroxa. I'm tempted to just discard Bolt, because next turn I attack with both Shadow and Ragavan, and they have to block the Shadow, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll discard Bolt here. Then I can get Jegantha back, so whenever my opponent will escape the Kroxa again, I just discard Jegantha, so I don't have to take any damage. So again, this was a game where I played it really, really carefully, and I might have, like, overplayed carefully, because I just resolved 3 iteration, they resolved none, so... I mean, I told you that I would have won this game, like, I don't know, 10 minutes ago or something.
Yeah. Oh, it's just fine. It's always cool to see other lines, other ways.
Yeah. So the goal of this game, of course, is drawing iterations, and yeah, I mean, this is the key card in the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we're gonna have a Licensed Hearse, which keep care. So these are the graveyard cards. I think Kolaghan Command is fine. We might bring in some counter magic because of how good they are against both Expressive Iteration and Drown. Although, of course, it's a reactive card, and if your opponent sees it with a Discard spell, they might play around it. I think overall, I am fine in taking out, for sure, 2 Channeler for 2 Hearse. And now, I don't know if we want some counter magic. I think Dispute is okay because it counters now a lot of things. So we can talk out more Channeler. Kroxa. Kolaghan's Command might also be good. I think I want to try to get rid of all the Channelers, similarly to what they do in Blue-Red Murktide in the mirror match. Just take out the Channelers. I still don't remove any removal spell, so I keep on keeping the board clear. I go a little bit threat light, but I brought in Kolaghan's Command, which is and Hearts, which are like similarly to threats. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kolaghan's Command is definitely going to see a lot more play now, I think, just because on Licensors is so much played against these John, the Grixis, colors. It's so good against Tarmogoyf and... Okay, this hand, it's a little bit clunky. I think you can't keep this hand. If this was a black source, maybe. Okay, let's go. Keep. I'm on the draw, so I think I'm gonna take out a threat. And I like to have all the discard spells. So I'm gonna take out Ishredder here. So I can go turn 1 discard spell, turn 2 double 1 drop.
Mm-hmm.
It's very bad if they have a Ragavan, because I currently don't have an answer for it. And this is why you play... This is why I hate Terminate, because it doesn't kill a turn 1 Ragavan on the draw. And it's going to be most of the time similar to a Push Bolt or an Unholy Heat. Okay. I'll probably bubble me. Hope to see removal spell on top. Dispute. That's pretty bad. Now, you can go Ragavan and hope they don't have one of the billion removal spells. Or we can just accept the hit and go for an Inquisition, I think. Trying to discard the Iteration already. See? Like look at this hand here. Once again, it's a super reactive hand, right? So my opponent is just sitting there with some removal spells, which we're not going to give them target for. And I mean, of course, I have to discard Ragavan, destroy Ragavan, or the Ragavan will take away the game. But now, if the Ragavan breaks, it's not like the end of the world. But I think it was important to go Inquisition instead of Ragavan there. Okay, they hit a Ragavan, so that doesn't worth anything. Okay, they passed. Draw. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I can't do much, so I'm just going to play a hearse here. And against the, is it Murktide, you tap it immediately to play around Murktide? In this matchup, there's just no rush. I mean, I guess Kolaghan's command is a reason to tap the hearse immediately, but they don't even have any creature in the graveyard. So the Ragavan will hit me again. Again. This is, of course, a way that in Modern you can just win easy games just by drawing Ragavan, and your opponent doesn't have removal spells.
Did he? Oh.
Yeah, he just played the Bauble from hand. He could like bubble me, see what's on top, but I think he just always attack because the treasure is so valuable. They hit a land. Very good. This means that their Ragavan didn't really do that much. Like, if I kill it now, of course, like, it's done things, but not... it's not the classic Ragavan that flips, like, I don't know, iteration and you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here, ideally I draw a land or a removal spell. A creature would be bad, because, of course, their hand is... Although they have 2 Unholy Heat, which aren't great. Ah, Shredder. That's very bad. Yeah. Think I'll Thoughtseize. And that's it. Because right now they don't have an answer to Shredder if I discard a Terminate. Ah. It's a shame that I lose this game, because their hand... And maybe, you know, it really did nothing, but the turn one Ragavan unchecked is going to carry the game.
Mm-hmm.
I could have played Ragavan, of course, and just trade, but I have Shredder in hand, so the Ragavan in my hand is valuable, whereas the Unholy Heat in their hand isn't valuable right now. The Jegantha can't be irrelevant this game, actually. Just because I'm constrained with lands. I think I'm going to use a Dispute here. It might not be worth it. Why would I use a Dispute here? No, I don't think it's worth it. I guess it's only worth it if they flip a card that costs... No, I don't think it's worth it. I'd rather just keep an extra card to loot with Shredder. Although, we know that they have Terminate, so the Shredder Spiral only loot once. Maybe Dispute is worse than Ragavan. But like, if you think about what would I had in this hand instead of this, it would be a Chandler, so that would also be a pretty bad card in the face of so many removals. And Flusterstorm would also be bad. Like, it's just... Okay, they flipped Shredder. Okay, good. I'm happy I kept... I guess it's the same if I disputed. Yeah, they're gonna probably play the Shredder and I dispute it. Well, I guess this, if I disputed this, they would have used an extra treasure. But like, you can't really know what they flip with the Ragavan. That's part of the... And I do it before the Kneve trigger because I know their hand. I don't want them to, you know, Kneve and draw a counter spell.
Right.
Yeah, I got rid of the heat, which is pretty bad. Okay, let's go. Land or removal spell, still gonna be super important. Okay, that's nice. I'll do it now. I don't want to wait. I'll deal 2 damage, and I could return a Shredder, but I'd rather just make them discard a card. I could also kill a treasure, but I think discard a card is more valuable here. There's merit for you to target yourself with hers to play around drawing the Loch, but I think it's not really worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I do this now to play around Kolaghan's command to return the Ragavan. It's a little bit of a nombo if you drown after you clean their graveyard, but like drown will mostly only need to be a 1 or 2 in this matchup. So
yeah, it's the same. What was it? Like if you bring in a Hitotsugu.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to get rid of.
Yeah, with this one you have way more control over what you let him keep. Okay, so top of the shredder, I go to 4. Of course, it's not much. They pass. They don't return Jegantha. Interesting. Bolt. Okay. Still a terminating end. Shredder dodges that. I think I'm just not doing anything. They actually needed to keep up terminate because I could just crew the hearse. Like if my opponent is not cautious, they might just die here. Because next turn I put the hearse to an 8/8. I can go Ragavan crew, attack for 8, bolt you. So if they tap a little bit too much, they might die. Now of course push is awful because bolt is awful. It was the only removal spell that didn't kill Shredder. So there is a risk in having these type of removals. But also my opponent Unholy Heat is awful, and if he was a bolt I would have died. So it's always gonna be result oriented. Okay, they might just get back Jegantha now. Yeah. I could have also done that, but then if they dash Ragavan, I need to bolt it, Okay, actually if I draw a Thoughtseize, I can cast it. If I draw Inquisition, I can yeah, I'm dead here, unfortunately. Because they just go terminate on the hearse. Yeah. And a bad loss.
Monkey happens.
Yeah, they just went Ragavan and that's it. Okay. I still stick by not having channelers. And I like having K command. I don't think Tourach is good in the mirror. It never really was good before, so it's still not good. Yeah, I think that's it. Dress down. Tell me.
That's as well. There's no merit to play dress down.
Okay, my opponent disconnected. I'll go 1 second to the bathroom. Okay, I'll be back in a second.
Back.
So you're going to ask about dress down, right?
Yes, I was gonna ask you. I remember there was something tricky with bringing in dress down, or
so
we kept the dress down.
Dress down kills a hearse that's crewed.
That's not bad.
So that's a thing that you might consider. Although I dislike dress down, just overall against decks that don't play as a Saga Realm with a Titan, or like maybe against Elementals, fine, but I've never really been a fan of the opponent evokes Solitude or cast Solitude and you play dress down in response. That seems I don't know. It seems like you have to have the dress down in that spot, and it's still like not the best of the play. Like, it's not a counter draw card. You still keep a 3/2 lifelink. So
yeah, dress down is probably just a cheeky dress down on damage step, right?
Yeah, because you have the shadow and you have Kroxa, but I don't know. I was never really a fan of that interaction. Okay, let's go. Mulligan and keep. I think I'm gonna bottom a land here. Now let's start. I'm gonna bubble them in upkeep. Because this way they don't know that if they Thoughtseize, they see a less card. This reduces my informations as well, but okay. I think the iteration here is a must. Like, you always discard iteration.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the... Like, back in the days, Jund against blue decks, you always discard the Snapcaster. You always discard the Jace. Like, you discard the 2-for-1s. Because the Channeler, the Terminate, they're just 1-for-1. It's gonna be fine. If you put Discard Spell in your deck, it's to target the 2-for-1s.
Makes sense.
Don't really care about too much their curve or anything like that. It's... Like, maybe if they have Ragavan, of course they discard a Ragavan. But the dead Channeler, just much weaker, especially when they don't have any proactive cards. I mean, now they drew Bauble, but they didn't have Bauble when I Thoughtseize them. So the Channeler looks pretty bad there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's the Shredder. It's a little bit interesting. I think I'm going to just go Thoughtseize and tap land here. Yeah. I'll, if I take Channeler, actually, they're gonna Delirium anyway. I think you have to take Channeler. Might be, because they got, they already have a 3-3. I don't have an answer for it. There might be too many 3-3s. So, despite it's just a creature that does removal spell, I currently do not have a removal spell. I might just die this game because I don't really have threats, and that would also be fine in blocking, because I could have I guess not really, because they have still Terminating End. Should have played Scalding Tarn. This was a mistake, because the Bloodstained Mire can get Swamp, whereas Scalding Tarn can only get... Oh, that's bad. Bad. Yeah, I have to draw my removal spells. Okay, Iteration will hopefully find me some removal spells. Oh, Mamma Mia. It's really a disaster here. Especially because that Thoughtseize cost me 5 lives, so I'm just dead on board if I cast it. I mean, I'm in a terrible shape here. I can't cast Thoughtseize because I'm dead on board. I just, once again, failed to draw removal spells and just died to threats. I mean, want to say that maybe we just mulliganed a couple of times. Didn't really get the best hands. They kept Channeler and they won with it, so that's definitely something to keep track of. Although, yeah.
On the play, I think you would have brought in the Channelers.
An opponent was on the draw. I mean, last game we had Hearse and they didn't draw Channeler. This game they drew Channeler, we don't have Hearse. Sometimes, Magic is like that. The Kolaghan's command is definitely not performing well right now, of course. Okay, so I can go Shredder push. This will let them loot, but I will also loot. And considering how far behind I am, I think I need to loot more than my opponent.
Mm-hmm.
I could also not played push and just waited their upkeep. So they're going to Unholy Heat, meaning that they also have Terminating End. They still have Terminating End.
Now let me ask you this, Andrea, because we can make it, a lesson here, I guess. If it was you, wouldn't you have terminated to not show them Unholy Heat?
Oh, my opponent, you mean?
If you were your opponent right now.
No, because no, I don't think so. Because Unholy Heat now kills the Shredder 100%. The Terminate always gonna kill a creature. Now concealing information isn't really, like, this game isn't about concealing information anymore.
Okay.
This game right now is about just you keep Terminate because it kills anything. Like if I go next turn, let's say, Unlicensed Hearse, exile 2 things, that Shadow, they still have Terminate, whereas the Unholy Heat wouldn't kill it.
Got it. This boy just drew all the birds.
Yeah. Okay. Now I can go. Because if I go... Yeah, no, I think once again I have to let them Connive here. I have to go push and then dash Ragavan. They're gonna Connive, but if I hit a removal spell from their deck, I can't cast it and kill the Shredder. I am in a desperate choice right now. I can't really hold cards, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Squillink's Command has been terrible. My opponent never played the Hearse, and this card wasn't able to kill anything. So maybe it's worth noting that this card is bad in the matchup. Okay. We're just... Okay, so hopefully I find a removal spell that costs 1 mana. I found the Thoughtseize, that's uncastable. Yeah, at this point, I mean, it's still a chance. If I top deck removal spell for this, dash Ragavan, hit the removal spell for this, but yeah. Well, let's try. They have one card, it could be a draw. They disconnected again, come on. But anyway, so I think overall, after this game, I don't think we want a second command. I think one might be enough. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think you want the Dispute. Now, sure, it counters important stuff, but is that usually the opponent knows your hand and just having cards that aren't threat or aren't just creature removal spells can sometimes be very clunky.
Mm-hmm.
So I would honestly just bring in the 2 Hers for 2 Channeler. That's it. Like, not really over sideboard. I think theirs is still important. It just, I mean, if I had it this game, I would have needed to kill the Channeler, and I mean, I would have probably just played Ragavan Crew and attack and kill my opponent. Like, that's the thing with the Hers. So often, it just kills you one shot after it eats all the... I think it's a very important card in these Channeler matchups.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the endurance of these matchups. It keeps the graveyard in check while being a very good body. Plus, against Living End used to side in Leyline against you, if you remember. And that's why you had Soga Lantern instead of Heal Spellbomb. And the Hearse does the same. Like, it doesn't target the opponent. And I am very scared of Living End. That deck is always... it's always scary to play against.
It does the unfair thing in Modern, right? The deck that does the unfair thing.
And has so many cyclers that it's very consistent.
Yeah. Like the Winota of Modern.
Yeah. And Winota, sometimes you just don't draw Winota, but the Living End just has so many cyclers that will always get his Grief, his Force, and his Cascade card. It's not like Rhinos that sometimes draws like the bad removals and no Rhinos. That's why I think the Living End is better than Rhinos if you have to choose a Cascade strategy.
Mm-hmm.
It's still viable. I mean, Rhinos is... I think Rhinos has a slightly better matchup against Elementals than Living End. But I think it's a little bit worse against this Grixis and Izzet decks than Living End.
Did you see that there was 4-color Blink that won the SCG con in Dallas? DreamHack?
Yeah.
It wasn't the Elemental version, it was actually just the Blink version.
Yeah, it was the old school Yeah, that kind of fell out of favor. Again, Magic is all about fashions. So the fashion of 4-color was Elementals for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be fair, the player that was piloting that deck has been playing it for like a long time. He was playing for like a year or something.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes that matters, of course. You want to talk about
very similar to our list that we built. A little different, but
did you play Counterspell?
he did. Played 4.
Yeah, I see some lists now don't play Counterspell anymore, even in the more control deck. Some play Dress Down. Brought Back. Some play Spreading Seas. All right, do we get another match?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go. Hopefully, it's gonna be shorter than the previous one. The previous one was definitely a lot of information. Let's say. Definitely. At the end of the day, the games kind of play themselves because, in the first game we had we drew 3 iterations, and the other games we didn't draw very well. But okay, once again, I don't have a turn 1 answer for Ragavan, but I think you can't mulligan this end. If it's Hammer time, it's a good matchup. Maybe if they start with Sentinel, isn't. But can I just take a Swamp here and play Bauble? And I think I cracked the Bauble because I might draw a Shredder next turn.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hammer Time is a good matchup, although, of course, if you're on the draw, they have a Sentinel, and your hand is 5 lands.
Some days, Andrea.
Oh. Still Shaper Gift. Okay, so they have Sigarda's and Hammer in hand. Meaning that we have to hold up. We have to hold up Drown here. Okay, it's a lot of lands. I think we have to go just untap land and pass. I don't want to go fetch because I want to start saving some life here, I think. The graveyard doesn't really matter. You don't have Murktide or Gurmagangler in the deck. You could have Gurmagangler if you want. Okay, so they played Paladin, which has to resolve, because if I counter this and they go land hammer on this, I just take 11 damage. With Swamp is super clunky because I can't go iteration next turn. I can of course go land iteration, but okay. Now I think I'm gonna counter the hammer. So I'm gonna make them draw a card. But if the hammer resolves, they draw a card of this. And if I kill the Sentinel, they can just move the hammer whenever they get Metalcraft. But this game is kind of over. They have both Saga, they have all the engines. They drew a card off of this. My hand is very bad as well. Yeah, let's just save some time here. Yeah.
Those are all the lands that were being shy last game.
Okay, now we have K Command, Dress Downs, Alpine Moon. Not too much, but again, this is a good matchup, I think. We take out Kroxa. I like Ragavan on the play. I like Ragavan in general. I'll never cut Ragavan in this matchup. You can cut some Channeler and Iteration. You can do something like this. Yeah, I don't like to bring in spell pierce or I mean Tourach is pro white, but I think all your other threats are much better.
Right.
Pro white doesn't really matter that much. Channeler, maybe you don't want to draw too many. You can take out another one for iteration, but iteration. Usually, when you play a 4-of, in general, in Magic, the rules say that if you play a 4-of, it's a card that you always don't mind drawing extra copies of. But I don't think that's iteration in this match. Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna go turn 1 Ragavan, of course, and then hopefully I draw a land here so I can like push or heat the blocker to let Ragavan through. And I crack all the bubbles here. I don't care that they have Shredder or... There are some games where you care about Shredder and Darcy, so you hold them, but it's not against Hammer Time. Especially when they're missing a second land, okay? The top priority now is to draw a second land. Okay, they passed. And again, I crack all my bubbles because I want to draw... Give her rooms. I want to draw a land. There it is. Okay. Draw. I start by shock fetch because now I have drown in case they go like, I don't know, March of the Otherworldly Light. No, actually they have graveyard empty. Yeah, I guess drown didn't really matter because they have empty graveyard. Can't see what I hit. If it's a 0 draw, it's a giver of runes. Oh yeah, I actually knew about that. Yeah, honestly, I think I don't mind going Shredder, giver of runes here.
Yeah, not bad.
I can loot the Ragavan away. His draws is... That's the classic Ragavan games. Just a creature that dealt the damage and literally just put a card from the top of the deck into play, you know? So good.
Pretty good.
They can go with the Sanctifier deck. That used to be a card very annoying for this strategy. But I think now Shredder really fixed a lot of the old problems of this deck. Like the Graveyard 8, you don't rely on that much anymore. The Sanctifier, you have flyers that are blue. Okay. I can go eat. Just because I don't want them to block. I attack with the Giver of Runes. I don't care about Pursuit Paladin. It's okay, I pass. Now, plus this way, they also have 2 cards in the graveyard, meaning that I can drown like a Pursuit Paladin or whatever.
It means you can negate anything they play.
Yeah. Thoughtseize is the only card, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, perfect. Counter.
Right, you really didn't play around with.
Yeah. And I just snowball with Ragavan. They play the Giver of Runes, gonna let me loot. Probably just... Okay, I discard Ragavan. Sure, I do this again. I can just attack and use the Giver to protect, but I just beat down, you know. I mean, these games were really just decided on turn 1, honestly. Put and played Esper Sentinel game 1, and we played Ragavan in game 2 on the play. So sometimes there's a little you can do about that. Okay, now on the draw, iteration gets even worse than already is. And channel are also not great. But like, You could try Spell Pierce. Do you want to try the sideboard on the draw?
Very interesting.
Spell Pierce, counters the hammer, mostly. I think I'm gonna try this on the draw. Just taking out the cards that I really don't want to see in my opening hand.
Right.
Maybe later, I don't mind drawing Iteration or Channeler, but in my opening hand, I'm happy to have Spell Pierce.
That's pretty good right there, man.
Yeah, sideboarding, you always have to think about... Okay, so here the sequencing is not going to be play Bauble on turn 1. Okay? Because I have the Shredder Bauble on turn 2. Granted, my opponent might play something that will require us to keep up Spell Pierce. But having Fade Out Push... Okay. A little bit scary. I think I'm going to just take a top land here. Steam Vents. I mean, obviously I should have waited end of turn. I just shortcut. But I don't think they go 0 drops here. Okay. Now I can go Swamp Shredder Bauble to set up the next turn of multiple spells. Or I can just land go here. And hold up next turn. Shredder Bauble with Spell Pierce, Unholy Heat or Bolt. I mean all these things up. Okay? Granted, if they play Hammer, the Spell Pierce doesn't do anything, and I need to wait third turn for this, but I need to have a land to play Hammer. Plus, I am now mana up with Drown in the Loch to counter the Hammer, so maybe they don't go for it. Ah, they do. Okay. I simply don't think I can do anything. I'll just have to take 12 here. Very annoying, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Would have K command but run the draw game 3, so okay. Good thing I didn't go Shredder Bauble, or I would have died.
Did he try to hammer twice?
Yeah, you cast the second hammer.
Well.
Okay, so I'm on 6, so clearly I take a shock land tapped. And I draw. Because I can take a swamp. Alright, I drew a swamp. Okay, so they have one card in hand. I'm going to just play the swamp. And I'm gonna... I think I just cast it now. Just kill the hammer, make them discard a card. Okay? They can't have Blacksmith skill. But they will always have Blacksmith skill. So might as well just do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Because like this is a thing I have to do in order to survive. So there's no reason to wait. Okay, that cigar has 89. That was a dead draw. I can play this bubble or I can keep on. I think I'm gonna keep on holding it for the Shredder. Now of course I die at the draw. Stoneforge Mystic or Hammer or whatnot. But it's what it is. It's the nature of this matchup. There's not really much you can do sometimes. Okay, they just Blacksmith skill gave +2/+2. Interesting. Okay. Now I can go Shredder, Bauble, and Shredder is blue, so I can just block the Sanctifier. Okay. I'm gonna discard probably just this. Yeah. And now this is a 2/4, and I block the Sanctifier. I can also just bubble myself here, because I can fetch. I have a Channeler on top. So Channeler... Can Channeler get Delirium ever in this game? Because of course I need flyers to win. But Channeler, considering that my... So I need a sorcery to go in the graveyard, which is kind of impossible, honestly. Okay. So I think I don't want Channeler. Although Channeler helps us with the top decks later. With the Surveil. Maybe we can Surveil a Shredder in the graveyard to get Delirium. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm gonna draw the Channeler.
You have another basic swamp?
No. Of course not. No. This is only gonna get a tap land. Okay, they drew a Giver of Runes, but that's not a problem. I played a push for that. So now we're actually, I mean, at 1 life, but in a fine spot, if you could say that. Okay, so I'm gonna take a Steam Vents. Yeah, I could push now or push in my turn. No, I think I'm gonna push now. So this way I can keep up the round in the Loch. Okay, this is a dead card, but I have Shredder, so I can... I have Shredder, so this card isn't dead. Also Jegantha. But now I have to hold up these so that they don't die to top decked Hammer. So you see how important was Shredder. This game before Shredder, days I would have died. Okay, I'm just untapping here. I don't feel safe to do anything. Okay, I cast Bauble. And if I find a... Okay, Iteration. Yeah, that's good. But I still don't move here. Now we have to put...
Every deck sometimes, or sometimes they just run out of whatever it is they were trying to do, and then it's...
Yeah.
They're really counting on their top decks.
Okay, they have Nexus on top, which doesn't do anything. Still have that card in hand, which could be just a land as a protection from Kolaghan's command. Okay, so I draw 2 cards here. Now I go Iteration. Hopefully I find like a shock land. I find a Dress Down. Haha, that's nice. Because that can kill the Sanctifier. Also gets Delirium. So now I'm going to... Perfect. Bauble. So I'm going to draw a Dress Down. Bottom Alpine Moon and exile the Bauble. Then I cast the Bauble. I loot with Shredder. So I get rid of this dead land. Okay. And then I bubble them, because I want to have information about their hand here. Okay, they have Spell Pierce. That's obviously scary. Okay, so considering that they have Spell Pierce, this means that I can't go Dress Down. Okay? End of turn, I mean. So, yeah, I'm passing. If they send back the good card in hand, it's a problem. Oh, the shadow is large.
That was huge, man.
Okay, so it's a problem if they have like a hammer. I guess it's not the worst. Okay, they passed. Now, yeah, no, I definitely don't cast Dress Down because I know this up here. So, see, all this information is so valuable for us. Okay. I once again played it super safe and pass. Because, so, I could go Shadow, but they have a Sanctifier. So, what can happen is, I go Shadow, they attack, they block, and then I play Dress Down the next turn. Maybe it's okay as a line. Maybe I can get behind that line. But I can also just fire off the Nexus. It's a complicated game. The thing is that if I play Shadow, I die to
Nexus Spell Pierce.
not really, because I have a blocker, but that would kill the Shredder. I think I just want to pass here. I just want to pass here and go dress down end of turn, so that during my turn the Sanctifier doesn't have protection and I can safely kill it. Okay? Spell Pierce is a big thing to know about. It basically just stop 2 of my land. So now, dress down end of turn. This means the Sanctifier will be shrunk for my turn. They're drawing the Spell Pierce. Okay. Another Drown. I don't want it anymore. Despite, of course, it's a good card. Okay, they just made that play, which doesn't make much sense. Okay, so now finally I can kill the Sanctifier. Also, oh, I still don't have Delirium, but that won't be a problem. And now I keep on passing here, okay? Because I want to have Drown in the Loch up. Now I get Delirium, because Enchantment goes in the graveyard. And now I'm safe. Again, this game was about just not dying. I have so many... It's very similar to the first game I've showed you in the mirror match. Okay.
Oh.
That's another flyer, so I can block the 2 Nexus. I think now I am going to cast the Shadow. And the Channeler. So now I have... Okay. I also drew a land, so I can finally play a land. So now I have 2 blockers for their 2 Nexus. I still have Drown. I mean, technically I died to Hammer plus Spell Pierce. Okay, so the Pactus on my Nexus, I think that's okay. Like, I don't mind. I want to only keep the counters for, you know...
Anything that's going to make you lose.
Exactly. Okay. Let's attack. And now I just passed back with Kolaghan's Command and Drown in my hand. Like, both of them active.
You're not gonna play the Shredder?
I don't play the Shredder for sure. I might play the Ragavan because that still leaves me with 2 Drown up. Yeah. I think playing Ragavan is fine. But definitely not Shredder now. Because that doesn't leave me with 2 answers up.
Okay.
I want to have 2 answers up at the moment. Before I could risk it and only leave 1, but because I need to develop my board. But now I developed it. So as you've seen, important to go back to my sideboarding. In the early game, I won the game because I had Spell Pierce and not Channeler or Iteration. But in the late game, you need just a couple of Channeler to not die. Sorry, to kill your opponent. Okay? So this is important whenever you sideboard on the draw to think about whether a 4-of it's worth the 4-of. And the Spell Pierce saved us, and we're gonna win the game. And of course, Shredder makes so that we looted so many land away in this game to have to sculpt the perfect hand. So yeah, just an excellent card in the deck.
I know it's way too late already, but even the fact that your Thoughtseize is dead and you can just loot it away.
Yeah, exactly.
Better.
All right, that was a good game.
That was a good game.
Yeah, I mean both of these matches have been very intense, huh?
Yeah.